Hey, what's up guys, it's Jack, and the title of this video is not clickbait. It does not deceive in any way. This is going to be as real as it gets, and it's not Call of Duty related, so if you were expecting a Call of Duty related title, then this is definitely not going to be it, so I'm just giving you guys a fair warning. But it's going to be a very personal video, and it's going to be something that is as personal as it gets because it relates to family, mainly my mom. And in order for you guys to fully understand exactly and why I need your thoughts and prayers, as the title suggests, or as the title says, excuse me, I need to take you back to September because that is when shit really started getting crazy. And I wanted to explain everything from A to Z so that way you guys exactly know what's going on. So back in September, long story short, my mom fell and she broke both of her shoulders. She basically face planted on the concrete and ended up breaking both of her shoulders. And she was in the hospital for about 2 weeks or so, and then from there she got transferred to rehab for another 10 weeks, give or take. And in between then, she was obviously doing physical therapy. She was seeing the orthopedic doctor as well as the urologist because for some reason after this had happened, she had trouble urinating. She couldn't go, so she had to see a neurologist. So and then when we saw the urologist, he basically did a he went in and with some kind of scope, and he saw something, and for her bladder, he went in to look at her bladder, and he saw something, but which could have actually been nothing, but it turned, but he didn't want to let it go because it could have been something. So right after rehab, after she got sent home, in about a week or so, she ended up needing biopsy, which happened exactly 1 month ago today on the 12th of December. And I guess everything went well, but we were supposed to do a follow-up with that doctor, with the urologist, to so we can get a little bit more in detail about the procedure and what he saw and all that kind of stuff, if anything, and how things went. But we couldn't make that appointment for a follow-up simply because of the fact that she ended up very recently going to the hospital again. And this time she ended up going because she ended up getting these really, really bad shakes, like these trembles all over her body to the point where she couldn't move, and she seemed a little bit out of it or whatnot. So I took her to the emergency room, and they did a CAT scan. They did all sorts of tests, and they said everything was fine. Everything ended up being negative, but before they let her go, they wanted to do one more CT scan or CAT scan, but this one was a little bit different. It went a little bit more in depth into her brain and the arteries of the brain to make sure everything was fine. And if everything ended up being fine and negative, then they would have discharged her home or whatnot. But that didn't happen. They came back with the results and they said that we need to keep you. So basically, her carotid artery was over 90% blocked, and there was also another one that was 40%, but they weren't really worried about that one. It was the one that was 90% blocked that they were worried about. So about, I don't know, maybe a week or so, give or take, after that, she had to have a surgical procedure on her neck for the carotid artery. And right now, if you were to look at her neck right now, she's got basically a hole there and a huge incision scar that goes from the top to the bottom on one side. It actually looks like she's been in a horror movie or she's been to prison or something. It's obviously still healing because it's been very recent. It was just like a couple weeks ago, two and a half weeks ago when this happened. So yeah, that's the end of that story, but it doesn't stop there. Basically, before they released her for the hospital, they did well, basically what ended up happening was after the procedure for the carotid artery, she actually briefly went into cardiac arrest. She basically had a heart attack, but it was something that happened very fast. I mean, they weren't even sure it happened. They didn't even know that it happened. It happened after the procedure, and I guess maybe before she woke up or something like that. And but the good news is that it didn't have any significant effect on her heart, thank God, because usually when somebody goes into cardiac arrest, it was, there's all sorts of complications that happen after that, and depending on the severity as well. But thankfully, it wasn't one to the point to where it had any significant damage, and the heart to this day is still beating well and functioning well and everything like that. But that wasn't the end of it. Basically, they ran further tests, obviously, because that's what they do. They follow protocol. And long story short, there are 2 blockages in the arteries of her heart to where she is going to need open heart surgery. And a surgery like that is very tough on the person, and recovery is something that they're very, very worried about. And basically, after the carotid artery surgery, they sent her home for a few weeks. And today we went. Today it's been about a few weeks later since she's been home. And today we literally just got back from the surgeon's office from an appointment with him for a follow-up. And he is going to, in about 10 days, we go back in again to where she's going to do some sort of physical test to see exactly where we're at. And there's going to be further discussion with the other doctors as well and everything like that. So that way so we can minimize risks of anything happening, because when you have a surgical procedure, especially one like that, there's always risks of something happening, and the body needs to be strong. So that's why they send her home, so that way her body can get stronger, and so that way the risks can be minimized, so that way she can handle the surgical procedure hopefully without having to endure anything else happening. So that is where we're at right now, and it looks like if everything goes well, so far, thankfully everything has been going well, from everything that he's told us. If everything continues to go well, and if all the tests come back good in about 10 days from now, after we take her in to get those done, after I take her in to get all that done, they are going to schedule the open heart surgery, which will probably take place about a week or so after that appointment. So we're looking at the very end of January or very early February of when this surgery is going to take place. And that is where your help comes in. I need all the thoughts and prayers that I can get. She needs all the thoughts and prayers that she can get. This is Mom. This is the most important person in my life, and the last of my bloodline, pretty much. Technically not really, because I do have family overseas, but long story short, to kind of let you guys in a little bit more, long story short, the relationship with them is not really that good. Let's put it that way, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I do believe that, positive thoughts and or prayers are something that can make a difference, and it's something that has been greatly appreciated, especially for those that know me in real life and everything. But I wanted to make this video to kind of let you guys in, because she could also use some more thoughts and some more prayers as well. And I do believe it makes a difference. You know how they kind of say it's also the thought that counts, and I totally believe that. So, because when you eliminate everything else, like I've mentioned previously in videos, it's the people and the relationships that you have in life that truly matter. So I wanted to make this video to basically get all the thoughts and the prayers that I can get for her, and to hope that everything goes well, because the woman, even before all this stuff ended up happening, even years before all this stuff ended up happening, the woman's been through quite a lot, both medically, physically, mentally as well. It's been an absolute crazy roller coaster ride, and let me tell you, the woman is tough as hell. I mean, if I was in her position right now, I would be, excuse my French, but I would be shitting my pants left and right and scared shitless. I mean, really. I mean, she's scared too, but like, I would be a wreck. I would be a mess. I would be like, I'd be in a corner, like shaking from all this, and she's not. She's going through physical therapy 1 to 2 times a day. She's doing what she has to do in order to get her body stronger for this, and I give her credit for that, especially when you're so scared like that, but you're still moving on forward. This is, that's a true show of strength right there. And all thoughts and all prayers and or both definitely are definitely appreciated and yeah. And yeah, and in closing of this video, I also wanted to say that if you are in the medical field, whether it's the mental health field, or whether you're a physical therapist or a doctor or a surgeon or a nurse or whatever that may be, I personally want to say thank you, even though you who is watching this video are haven't necessarily taken care of me or my mom. One of you has, that is in that field or one of those fields, and I personally wanted to say thank you. And I see what you guys do, and let me tell you, we greatly appreciate what you guys do and what you guys go through in order to make sure that a patient gets the best that they possibly can. And I've seen it from your perspective as well. It's not easy also. So I personally wanted to say thank you. Everybody that's been involved with my mom, from doctors to surgeons to nurses to physical therapy people, and everything in between, have been absolutely amazing and extremely understanding and supportive. And I am forever grateful for that, and so is she. So just like I will forever be grateful for your thoughts and your prayers. So, but that's all I got for this one, guys. So yeah, that's it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.